And now here's part 2 of our episode.
Before we get too far into the track,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, I do think that what needs to happen now,
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn the choreography from the music video,
Yes.
and then we need to film that and post it on our social media. I think that's
Yeah.
I will get the outfit for you if you learn the choreography.
Great minds think alike, Michael. That's what I say.
Feel like you guys have a jokey tone in your voice, but this is so serious and it needs to happen. So
It's gonna happen.
No, yeah,
We're
no,
not joking.
I'm not. It's not joke. I'm jovial, not joking.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're all on the same deadly serious train here.
So
yeah,
you know what I think works about this song so much? The danger. There's danger in this song.
Go on.
You know what I mean by that?
Say more words, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like she's doing something that she's saying something, or at least in how I'm hearing the story and how I've heard the story of this song for so long, it sounds like she's saying something really honest that is very dangerous to say to somebody. And saying like, hey, I'm worth it. Like I'm worth you leaving that other person to choose me. Choose me is what she's saying in this. And I think it's harrowing, right? Like it's like walking a tightrope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you going to hurt this person? Like, what is it worth hurting this person? I think these are such huge questions that she's packaged into such an epic pop.
I completely agree. When you said danger, I was like, I don't know. But no, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that during it, where the song is saying, well, you're into me and I don't know, maybe things have happened, but like you need to go you need to like end this for her and don't be a dick about it, because like it's not your girlfriend. It's like it just is what it is and it happens, and like you have to let her know that it's not her, it is you. She's great and she's gonna find love again, but you got to do this. And it's it's delivered in just like the least emotional way, in terms of like anger or like a threat or like an ultimatum. Like I was thinking of, to bring up Avril Lavigne again, I was thinking of Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, which is such like an opposite vibe, but to be like, I don't like your girlfriend and like I'd be better than you. Like that's so easily where this could be, but it's so not that. It really seems like somebody sitting on a couch being like, there's something here, but you gotta end this other thing before we can continue on with ours. But at the same time, it's a freaking dance bop. Like you cannot listen to this without doing a little something.
That's 100% what it is. It's respect. Like she's saying this like we are, if you say you respect me, if you're saying that you're into me, like I'm into you, like I love you, then you have to respect me enough to go and be honest and respect that other person that you've been with. That's huge. Okay, I don't know how to package that idea in one little snappy little moment. So I'm just going to give you 1,000,000 points for I'm going to give you 1,000,000 points for this, for get your house in order. The whole idea about getting your house in order, that's kind of like what the message of this song is in some ways. So 1,000,000 points for that.
I like that you said danger too, Tyler, because I was thinking, I think of the two, main bops from this album, like I think I gravitate more towards Dancing on My Own, which for me, every time I listen to it, I have to listen to the pronouns, and I have to think about who the speaker is in that song. Because for me, that song is clearly being sung from the perspective of a boy at a high school dance who is discovering that he is a homosexual and really wants to date the guy who's already got a girlfriend. I mean, because I don't know, it just feels like the way she sort of interchanges pronouns within the song, like there's a lot of interpretations for that, but all of them are a little bit dangerous in some way.
Now I need to do a deep listen. I was just thinking, as you said, Dancing on My Own, I was like, I know at one point in this I've said like Dancing on Your Own and call my girlfriend, like I know I've mixed up that situation by accident. But now I need to go back and listen and do like a hard listen, a podcast style listen.
Yeah. Well, there's also, I think you could also say this about Show Me Love, right? Like, like you, if you hear that it's such an earnest request, and I think that it lands in such a different way than these songs do, because that one's almost more, it's not as hard of an action, to use the theater term, right? Like Show Me Love is like, hey, I'm over here and like I'm shining. Like I shine. I know I shine. and show me love because I'm worth it. But it's so different. It's so different than the message of saying like, no, go do this. Hey, if you like put up or shut up, it's kind of, there's a little bit of a put up or shut up in the body talk. I would say overall in body talk.
No, all of it. Yeah. Like don't fucking tell me what to do. And
absolutely indestructible.
Forward.
Well, and she's making this album as she's turning 30, honestly. So it's I mean, she's sort of like, you know what, all this bullshit from my 20s, like, you know, no more of that.
Okay, you bring up turning 30, and this reminds me of another sort of like pop. I think one of the best pop albums of the last couple years, which actually is the soundtrack to Inside by Bo Burnham. Have you watched that, Ariane?
Mm-hmm. I have. Yes.
I see a lot of Robyn in his work, in like especially the more dancey kind of songs. All Eyes on Me I was listening to last night with our friend Lavina, and that song is like a dance. It's like a dance song. That's a song you could hear in a club or like at a celebratory event or something like that. But you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh boy, there's something else going on here.
Dark feelings happening here.
We haven't said it yet, and I feel like it needs to be said because we haven't acknowledged this. Snoop Dogg is on this album.
I forgot until I was re-listening to the whole thing. I was like, okay, sure.
He really is. He's so funny, and like, I just think Snoop Dogg's great because we talked about Snoop Dogg. We talked about Snoop Dogg in our Vince Staples episode because he played on Snoop Dogg's football team. Which is a great thing about Snoop Dogg. I just saw a video of Snoop Dogg arriving at the Glasgow airport and dancing to the bagpipe music that was brought out to welcome him to Glasgow. And I'm like, this dude is nothing but good energy as far as I can tell. You know, I'm sure he's got his shit, but like, come on, how lucky are we to have Snoop Dogg?
Forever living his best life, hanging with Martha Stewart as genuine buds.
So funny.
Yeah.
So
it's
funny.
Appropriate that you said buds too for that friendship.
It's true. Hey. Well, but on the don't fucking tell me what to do, when I was
go.
Before we move on from it, when I was re-listening, I like had my headphones in, I had Spotify open, and then I had another page open, and it had it started auto playing Oscar acceptance speeches from this past Oscars. It was just like Twitter or whatever. It was like movie Twitter. And Michelle Yeoh's acceptance speech where she says, and ladies, don't let anyone ever tell you you're past your prime, layered over don't fucking tell me what to do. I legit thought that Robyn had gone back and edited the track with that. It sounded so good. And I texted my friend and I was like, am I a DJ? This sounds really good. Somebody should layer this.
Yeah.
But it's similar vibes of like, this is our time, claim it.
Yeah, 200,000 points for the Michelle Yeoh remix of Don't Tell Me What to
I want it so bad. It sounded so good. It sounded like somebody had gone in and done it, but really it was just autoplay doing a good thing for the first time in its entire life.
I love that. Okay, so let's ask you. We have a question for you. It's don't fucking tell me what to do. That's the title. Just getting the order of fucks.
Don't
right.
fucking tell me what to do. Do.
Yeah.
That's the lyric. I know those lyrics real well.
What when we invited you to come on the pod, and as you so generously have, we asked you for 4 albums that you believe are perfect, and you said you had your disclaimer about Tapestry, which I totally agree with you. Absolutely perfect album, one of the best of all time. But what other standards were you using to judge the perfection of albums? Kind of like what were the requirements going through your head as you mulled this over?
I have the same. I realized I hadn't really thought about it until you guys asked me that question ahead of time. Don't worry, this is all off the cuff, guys. But when you sent me the things to think about, and I was like, it's such a good question. I realized I have the same standard for my favorite movies, which is how many times I can rewatch them and not get sick of seeing it. I feel the same with the albums, where like how many times can I listen to them, and also the options I sent to you, I'd listen to all the way through, which I, as stated earlier, I don't necessarily do. I do the like great, like the 4 or 5 like hits, and then skip a lot of the in betweens. Sure. And so all of the ones I sent I've listened to just like on repeat over and over and over, and I could still do it. Like maybe I'll take breaks for a year or a few months or whatever, but I will come back and I will listen to all of like Sarah Bareilles' first album and like Avril Lavigne and Carol all day, every day.
Okay. I gave you 600 points for the standard of re-listenability, which I think is spot on. And I'm also going to just give you a good 9,000 points for Avril Lavigne's presence in this conversation.
So much
She's
Avril.
come up several times.
So I also was I was driving with a friend the other day and she had it on. She had her first album on.
Avril's?
Yes. And it's so good. And she was like, God, I can't believe she was 16 when she wrote this. I was like, what?
It's stupid.
What?
It's stupid. It should be illegal. It should be illegal to be that talented as a 16-year-old. Like it's just absolutely insane.
Well, and I love the internet rumor. I think I said this in my email that the reason her sophomore album and future ones were not as good is because I'm saying it out loud is really bleak. She died and got replaced by an actor. Like that's an online conspiracy.
Yeah. Which we don't know that it's not that, but if it's not that, then I'm concerned for this replacement Avril, because replacement Avril has all of the same, or has a whole other layer of terrible things to deal with as a celebrity as well. So
it's the dark Hannah Montana. It's the HBO Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
You've never
Bizarro Hannah Montana. Yeah.
Avril, we hope you're doing okay.
And by the way, I liked a lot of your future albums. One of your most recent songs I've been listening to lately. It's also
good.
A bop. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about do you think that there are any skips on this album?
Yes, I do.
Ooh, okay.
I had to
come out with it then.
I truly like basically every single song on this, including the funny the Snoop Dogg track is like, you're like, okay, this is happening.
You should know that,
but
yeah.
I hate None of Them. I hate it. I'm so sorry.
No.
I know. And it's funny to look at the Spotify plays because it's high up there. I cannot stand it. I don't know.
Rules. That song.
I don't like it. It is, what? And I know that I'm not in the majority here based on both of your reactions and the
wow.
I do not like it. I was like, oh, okay, because we discussed earlier, the whole album is a little different. So like maybe the first time you listen to it, you're like, okay. And then you keep going and you're like, wow, I love this. There's so many layers. This one, the more I listen to it, the less I like it.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You are nuts.
I've had the exact opposite response to this. I
love that song.
It's different producers. Like
definitely.
It's the Norwegian duo Royksopp.
Yes.
Is that how you say it? I'm not even sure how you say it.
No,
but like it does sound different than a lot of stuff on the album. Wow.
I think some of it,
speechless.
Again, going back to my earlier thing of like, I listen to the melody and the beat, which is also why I love Robyn. Like the beat is strong, the melody is great. And I listen to her lyrics more because they're just like, they're clear, just coming at you.
They're good.
That one has this like weird sort of like, it's not atonal, but there's definitely some like dissonant note things happening in it that I'm like, this is hitting a negative. This is the like, not nails on a chalkboard. It's not that aggressive, but the like when your hands are too dry and you touch like a baby blanket and you're like, this texture is wrong. And I can't, do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe not.
Yeah,
that's what it feels.
Okay,
I'm like, I see how this could be right, but it feels so wrong for me right now. It just like hits like a noise part in my brain that I don't like.
I get that.
So
wait,
sorry.
hold on. Your hands are too dry. And then you touch a baby blanket?
You know, the super, super soft blankets that are made for
what you just said is wildly specific.
Because that is the thing I hate. Like oh man, I don't know if you have an experience. It is just
I'm giving you 10,000 points for it just because it's sort of like I'm sort of still reeling from the fact that you
it's not as far as nails on a chalkboard, but it's like deeply unpleasant and also makes me aware of how as adults we're just creeping towards death because I'm like, baby skin doesn't even register. They're just like, this is so soft, and I'm like, oh, my skin cells.
That's so interesting. Okay, man.
Okay, sorry.
That's a whole other conversation. I feel like that is an avenue of conversation we might have to bring into like a philosophy of music or like whatever episode. But anyway,
see, I feel like for me, like if the last track is the one that
Mhm.
feels weird to me because the second to last track, she ends the song by saying like "you're gonna be okay" is like the last line, and I was like working out of the gym to it today, and it got to that, I was like, oh, this is clearly the last song on the album because she's telling us we're all gonna be okay, and then another song happens, and I'm like, oh,
Do you mean
okay.
Do you mean going from In My Eyes to Stars Forever? Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, going from In My Eyes to Stars Forever.
That's so funny because I really like Stars Forever. I like it's like a lot. But I also don't know if, because like you said earlier, it wasn't in this format before. It was like two separate situations. And now I don't remember enough to know what that looked like, but
it was weird. It was like because there are some songs that that I think aren't even like from parts 1 and 2 that aren't even on this.
Yeah. They said that they ostensibly chose the 5 best, quote, that's in quotations, the 5 best songs from the first 2 volumes, and then added 5 new ones.
5 tracks. Yeah.
I
every time I listen to this, I also wish that it were like some of the other electronic albums we've talked about. I wish it were a DJ set. Like I wish that they like flowed one to the next, but also I'm kind of like, you know, this at least she has singles. This makes it possible for her to have singles.
She does.
Cry When You Get Older. Is that not on this?
No.
Oh my god, I love Cry When You Get Older, which is on Body Talk.
Looks like that was on
the
deluxe edition. It looks like that was on the German iTunes Store deluxe edition. So you really are a Robyn fan. If you're
just
because
because you could
deluxe edition.
Again, torrent. When you torrented, you could pick the like version.
That's a good point.
They just had these like massive files.
700 points for being, I think, the second or third person to bring up uTorrent.
uTorrent. I was a dirty leech. I was not seeding.
That's all right.
I was paranoid. I'm a little rule follower. I was like, I'm going to download my music and I'm going to close this out. Sorry, friends.
Listen, small forms of rebellion are important too. It's an important part. Excellent. Ariane, this is a very serious podcast. I'm not sure if you caught that, if you got that feeling, or if that has not become clear to you. We're very serious about this, and the points really do matter. Yeah, no messing around here. And so you've made a very compelling case today for the perfection of Body Talk by Robyn. I'm going to go over the points that you accrued over the course of our conversation, and then I'm going to put it to the Grand Poobah himself, Mr. Michael Osinski, to make the judgment. So at the end of the board here, I gave you 700 points for uTorrent, being the second or third person to bring up uTorrent. No shame in it. No shame in the game. Sometimes you just got to use the tools that are at your disposal. I gave you 10,000 points for putting into my mind the sensation of having your hands be too dry and then touch a very soft blanket. And now I'm questioning if I've ever experienced that before. And if I haven't, I kind of need to now, I guess, even though it'll be unpleasant. I don't know. 9,000 points for the presence of Avril Lavigne throughout this entire conversation. Bless you, Avril, or bless you, Avril's replacement, whichever of you is currently holding the mantle of Avril Lavigne. Bless either of you. 600 points for talking about re-listenability being the most important factor in the perfection of an album. You got 200,000 points for bringing into the world the idea of Michelle Yeoh remixing Don't Fucking Tell Me What to Do with her Oscar acceptance speech, because fuck yeah, I'll listen to that. And then I gave you 1,000,000 points for our kind of conversation about Call Your Girlfriend and about that whole thing about getting your house in order and like knowing your worth. I think that was a very well made point. 6,000 points for everybody out there working in retail. Love y'all. Thanks for the hard work you do. Sorry. I hope that someday you can get a job that is less punishing to your soul and your body. Much love to you. 500,000 points for, I want to go back to experiencing that piece of art or something for the first time, because that is something I experience regularly, if not every day, then most days. 3,000 points for saying that you want to be the music version of a foodie, because I think you might already be to some degree. You got taste. 9,000 points for your brother supporting badass lady artists as a young person, and we need more of him out there, and we just need to support our lady artists as much as we can. And then you gave Michael 9 out of 10 Don't Fucking Tell Me What to Do's for his summary of Robyn, which I gotta say was top drawer. That was one of your best so far.
What's
Michael?
The exchange rate of Don't Fucking Tell Me What to Do's to points?
It is for each word in don't fucking tell me what to do plus the 9 that you gave him, you get 1,000,000 points for each.
For
each?
Word.
Yeah.
So 16.
So you just got something like 12 million points or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah. You did all right. So
it feels funny
Michael.
to me that re-listenability was 600 points. Yet you got 1,000,000 for every word in the title.
But those points count towards your case.
They do.
So you got the points.
Yeah, don't worry.
No, I know, but the exchange rate here of like 9,000.
Hey, listen.
We don't understand economics. So
this is the exchange rate economics of our podcast,
let alone
not of
our government
the real world.
leaders. We're all in this lack of knowledge together.
Come on, Department of Labor, hire us. We want to get sponsored by the U.S. Department of Labor.
We're right after Grape Nuts. Grape Nuts first, then the U.S. Department of Labor.
And of course,
the two cornerstones,
just to keep it classic.
Yeah, Casper too.
I do that. Yeah, let's do that.
So this is the deciding moment brought to you by Casper Mattress.
#SpawnCon.
Support it. Give us some money. Michael, you've heard the case that Ariane made. You see the points on the board. You've listened to the album. Tell me, does Body Talk by Robyn go to 11? Is it a perfect album?
I mean, if I said no, I feel like I would have to just turn heterosexual. Like, I mean, I think it's just not. It's
God forbid.
Yes, it's a perfect album. Goes to 11.
Yes. And the crowd goes, well, call your girlfriend. It just kicks in. There's like an explosion behind us. You done good, Ariane. You done good. You brought a damn fine case.
Robyn made my job easy. I didn't really. I could have played the songs and then said, see, and then I still would have.
It is kind of one of those albums. I think it is crazy that this album, and I don't think it's crazy because it's undeserving. I just think it's wild because I kind of forget sometimes that this is on so many of those like Rolling Stone best albums of all time lists. Well, we have to share what our standout track was from the album, and Michael and I are doing something. Michael and I are doing something a little bit different this time, which is we're going to decide live what our typically we decide beforehand, but we're going to decide live what it is. What were some of the contenders, Michael?
Well, see, I must admit that, and I did tell Tyler this is for purely personal reasons, like none of them was one of the ones we were considering.
I knew you were going to say that.
As our standout track. I will say, I mean, a part of me also thinks like, there's the we could go the route of playing the other single from the album, which is Dancing on My Own. We've talked about Don't Fucking Tell Me What to Do a lot in this episode, so that's one we could potentially play.
Hang With Me could have been one.
Oh my God.
I'm also a fan of
not even been discussing Hang With Me.
I know.
So
Hang With Me is incredible.
I'm a fan of Indestructible as well. Like, I mean, Indestructible is one of the songs Robyn would feature prominently on my summer theater camp playlist that I would play for the students teaching acting in the morning when they're warming up, because I'd be like, I don't want to play the standard pop. I want to go with Robyn. So that was always there. I mean, I don't know, Tyler. What do we do? What feels like the right closer to this episode?
I'm sorry, but I do think that we have to choose none of them. I think we have to. I think we have to for all the reasons that you said. Because listen, what you said about the dissonance of it, I think there is a dissonant note in it. Like there's a dissonant thread that runs through it. But I also think it's she is a highly collaborative. She's a highly collaborative artist, and I think that it is one of the most important things about her in understanding like her impact and like the kind of artistry that she aspires to, because I think she is very successful in a mainstream way, but I think she's pretty punk too. Like I think she's uncompromising in terms of what she wants to put out into the world and is very intentional about it. And I love that. I love that in all artists. And I think none of them is a moment you get to see her range. So I think we should leave them with that. That's my vote, Michael. What do you think?
I mean, of course, I'm going to second that one. So.
Okay, and Royksopp is underrated. Royksopp is very interesting. Like I
haven't really listened to much Royksopp.
There's this one particular Royksopp song that I think a lot of people would recognize, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's that one that goes like da 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 You'll know it if you hear it.
I believe you.
You'll know it if you hear it.
We'll put a link to it. We'll link to it in the episode.
It's so good. But yeah, I think that's what we should go with then.
Great. After I was like,
Ariane.
I hate this track. Well, you're wrong.
The minute you said it, I was like, it has to be. Thank you so much for coming and doing this with us. This has been so fun. I miss you.
So fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking me.
Absolutely. You killed it, and hope to make it out to New York sometime soon, and we can go dancing. That'd be really fun. Get Michael out there. I bet Michael dances, doesn't he? Your Michael.
My Michael?
Yeah.
No, my Michael does not dance.
My
Michael does not dance.
Come
on. He will get down on like a wedding dance floor to dance. So maybe I haven't put Robyn on, and then we'll find out that my Michael is a hardcore.
He can do it.
Dance
He's
floor.
got it in him. I know he does.
Yeah.
How can you not dance to Robyn? I feel like
physically,
should be illegal.
Physically, you cannot.
Yeah.
There's something that's like a test to make sure you're okay.
Mm-hmm. Are you human?
It's a new stress test. Instead of hitting the knee, they just play Robyn and see if you give it a little something.
It's true. All right, Michael, you want to lead us out?
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for listening. And before you go, just give a little listen to Ariane's absolute favorite Robyn song from the album Body Talk, None of Them. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.